RT is sitting down with the co-organizers of We're Change Chicago, Saad Ali and Steve Krog. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Saad, let me go to you first. There's a lot of controversy in the U.S. surrounding what We Are Change represents. For those who don't know, can you tell us what the organization is really about?
Right, yeah. We Are Change is basically a citizens-based, grassroots, peace and social justice movement that started out in New York following the events of September 11th. We actually have over 200 chapters internationally. And we're not left, we're not right, we're nonpartisan, we're about right and wrong. We try to educate the public by handing out free DVDs. We confront politicians, media, everywhere from people who attend Bilderberg on issues that really matter to the American people. We try to become the media because many times the media doesn't ask the hardball questions that need to be asked or just don't cover it.
What about Barack Obama? He was promising change from Chicago, and you guys are here now saying basically what he's offering is not enough. Is that right?
Well, what he's offering is more of the same. It's kind of like a status quo that I think people in America are waking up to now, that a lot of problems George Bush created handed over to Obama, and so people think that, oh, you know, now Barack Obama has all these problems that were handed to him, what's he to do? But what we're trying to do is explain to people, look, that is the agenda. That is what they do. That is how they keep perpetuating wars and lies and all these things to the people, is they create the false left-right. And so we're here to shatter that.
Now, a lot of people in the U.S. tend to often call We Are Change conspiracy theorists. What do you say to those people?
A lot of the issues that we cover, they call it conspiracy, but we bring facts, we bring documents, we bring quotes. We bring the evidence. It's not conspiracy. What was once conspiracy theory is now coming to be fact. 9/11, for example, or global warming is another example. There's so many issues. We question the left, we question the right, and we don't leave anybody alone.
One of the things you guys claim is that 9/11 was an inside job. And it seems that a lot of people in the U.S. get upset when they hear people say that. How do you convince them that you're right?
Well, there's not a lot of convincing. It's mainly just pointing people to the evidence that is available. You know, back in the day, you'd use Mom or Dad's Encyclopedia Britannica to look things up, but now we have the internet. So it's very easy to point to people, like when I speak with friends about 9/11 who are uneducated on it, my first question is, well, do you know about Building 7? And right there's that litmus test, where if they say no, all you have to do is go to any TV or computer and just plug it in and show them Building 7. And when they see that building come down, a lot of jaws drop, you know, and they say, oh my God, why didn't I know about that? America has hit a point where we have to go do our own research, I guess, to figure out what happened, because that's where we start, is with Building 7. And until we get a clear explanation on why a plane that wasn't struck by a building came down, as long as you just show that to people, I mean, it's not hard to put that together, that there's way more to that story. And we're not here to explain to people what happened on 9/11. We want to know as well. And so we're trying to create a coalition of people who are all asking the questions and not getting mad at us. Don't shoot the messenger.
So how certain are you that 9/11 was actually an inside job?
Well, the thing is, we really don't know like who did it because of the amount of questions that there are. The 9/11 Commission they didn't cover anything that really happened. They didn't even cover Building 7. I mean, there's a new scientific report out that shows that there was military-grade nanothermite found in the dust of the World Trade Centers. Now, how do 19 cavemen come across military-grade thermite? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. These questions are just so overwhelming how they never answer it. And when you bring it upon them, when you confront them about it, they say nothing and just walk away, or they have their security or their goons just grab you, assault you, and take you out. So we're trying to get people aware that, yeah, we have questions. Who knows who did it? What happened? We don't even know that. And that's what we're out there trying to find, to get a new, independent investigation into 9/11. And that's the bottom line.
We Are Change also talks a lot about the New World Order and the Bilderberg Group. What is it that you have discovered over the years that makes you talk about these things?
Well, we discovered their own writings. There's all these decisions being made in secrecy behind our backs. And we need to vote on these things. We need to talk about these things, you know. People give us static for, why you talk about the New World Order and how do you know about this? And it's like, how don't you know about it? You see what they're trying to do. We see their meeting in Copenhagen. We saw what happened at the G20 and the security that they brought out. These people aren't playing games. They're not messing around. And neither are we, because We want answers. We don't want to wake up in a world one day that's been planned for us behind closed doors. And so we want to know why they're meeting. We want to know what they're planning. We have questions.
So who exactly makes up the Bilderberg group?
We know that they meet once a year somewhere in the world. We know every 3-4 years it usually ends up in the North American continent. We know they met in Chantilly, Virginia a couple years back. They were in Ottawa, Canada, and it's the world elite. Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton disappeared during the 3 days they met. So that's the real question, because it comes out who has gone there. The sheet of people, you know, the CEOs, the business, corporate, all facets. It's all these 120 of the world's elite come together for this. You know, we confronted Madeleine Albright and said, what were you doing there? What were you doing at Bilderberg Group? And she said, oh, I wasn't there. We said, we have videotape of you entering and exiting. What were you doing there? Oh, I was dropping somebody off. So, you know, you keep getting questions like that. So how, you know, we do need to know about these things. We have a lot of questions we need answered.
You guys recently tried to confront Al Gore about climate change. Why do you feel he and other politicians would lie about an issue like climate change?
Well, I think what they're doing is they're not lying about it. I think they're using the natural occurrence of this planet, because historians like Webster Griffin Tarpley, for instance, say, look, I study the Earth, I study history. It heats up, it cools down. It heats up, it cools down. Okay, this is happening, so let's create the scare behind it. But what the people don't realize is the green movement is great. I'm all for recycling and preserving the Earth and being clean and not polluting, but you have to understand, at the end of the day, what they're trying to do is transfer wealth from the private sector to the federal government to a global government. And with the wealth, it's to create the government. And that's the part they're not cluing the people into, that through research, looking at their own documents and seeing what they are trying to progress in Copenhagen is something we don't need. We don't need global government. We don't need a carbon tax. And so when we go to confront Al Gore, we can't let it get minimalized that we disagree with him, or we don't think the Earth is cooling or heating or whatever they say it is at the moment, because we know those things are happening. We agree. But we don't think we should have to pay a tax or be part of a global government because of it.
I also want to talk to you guys about the war in Afghanistan. Do you think the American people have been given enough of an explanation as to why more efforts and troops are being sent there now?
I don't think we're given much of an explanation on anything. I think it's just an agenda that they have. I mean, we know Bush was writing the Iraq war strategy. I mean, he was getting ready for that before 9/11. I mean, they know where they're going to go and what they're going to do, and then they just have to sell us on it. I mean, I'm not afraid of terrorists in Afghanistan. It doesn't worry me. I think there's a whole lot of heroin there they want to control, though.
Saad, you recently traveled to Pakistan.
Yes.
What kind of things did you discover there? You wrote an article about it.
You go and talk to anybody over there. Blackwater, Mossad, CIA, and these agencies is all you hear about. These bombings that are happening, which hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people are dying every day. It's like every day there's a 9/11 going on over there. When I was there, I mean, every day I'd open the news, all right, 80 people dead in Lahore, 80 people dead in Karachi. It was just it was ridiculous. President Obama has Blackwater all over Pakistan. And the reasons, what are they doing in that country? Why are they occupying Pakistan? We do not need to be in that country. Afghanistan right now, they're in there trying to get 100 Taliban members. Like, you know, are they the real threat, or is it something? Is there another agenda? And that's what it looks like to be. There's another agenda that they have. We saw what they're doing in Afghanistan. Now they're moving into Pakistan. And I think when he's transferring 30,000 or however many troops into Afghanistan, and they're just getting ready to invade that country, you know, because Afghanistan, they're not there for Al Qaeda. People are over there. The anti-American sentiment is so much. They're just saying, we thought President Obama was going to bring any change. What is he doing now? He has the blood of hundreds and hundreds of Pakistanis that I spoke with, their families in Pakistan. He dropped drones. He killed so many innocent men, women, and children, all to capture one guy, Baitullah Masood. Now, is that worth it? And now he got the Nobel Peace Prize. For what? Killing? He's got the blood of hundreds of people on his hands.
Steve, another important issue that We Are Change calls for is the need to audit the Federal Reserve. Why do you feel it's important?
It's very important that Americans wake up to what an audit of the Federal Reserve will do. Because we have to understand they've never been audited in their existence since 1913. So we're looking at an agency that is pretty much the shadow government of the United States, because it's an unconstitutional agency. Why is there a Federal Reserve? Why does the Constitution say that, Congress prints and coins money? Why did we give that up in 1913? And why has our dollar slowly declined ever since? No one's doing anything to get out of debt. They should have on our newspapers the debt. Every day, that should be the headline. We need to keep pounding into the American psyche, like, look at who these people are controlling us. And everyone needs to get educated on Ron Paul's bill, H.R. 1207 in the House and S. 604 in the Senate. We talk about everything because there's a big problem that a small group is involved in, and the Federal Reserve is